Hello everyone, welcome to MSJ in the Garden. Today I'm here with my dear friend Marie. Marie and I hang out at the farmers market on Saturdays. She's also one of my great club members for the Littlestown Area Garden Club. And Marie is the head for the catering, and oh my word, do we get banquets there. It's wonderful. So Marie has a farmette and she's going to tell us all about growing herbs, permaculture, culture, and lots of fun things. Right now we are in Marie's herbs garden. So Marie, over to you.
Okay, well, this is the first garden we put in when we moved here. We have some small beds. As you said, we have a lot of herbs here. We also grow regular vegetables. Around the corner I have celery still growing. We grow root crops in here. Winter squash, which has been pulled down now. This is a new addition this year, this vertical grower. It's a green stalk. We grow herbs. This is cutting celery. Green beans, bush beans are growing here. Nasturtiums. Hello bee. Flowers. This has just been an experiment to see how much food I can actually grow in one of these. This has been a really good tool, and I feel like as we get a little older, vertical growing is a little easier for us. I have flowers in here. There's some of this little atomic tiny tomato over here, which is just a test to see how it would do, and they've done really well. Anyway, my snack. This is the caterpillar for the swallowtail butterfly. Right now he's on this dill. I have a lot of them. There's another one. There was a really small, he's gotten bigger. They grow almost by the hour. This is cilantro, sage, lemon thyme. What I've been doing with the celery is I cut it just about 2 inches above the ground, and then it will regrow. So this one I cut, about a week or so ago to that 2 inches above the ground, and it's regrowing. One of the things that I do in this little greenhouse is I cure my winter squash and some of my onions. Actually, I have right now in here, I have shallots curing.
Wow.
And as soon as they've been out here for a couple weeks, then I'll bring them in the house and they're good. They'll last all winter. I start plants in here. I kind of just let them hang out till they get strong enough to move outside. Some things get to live in here, like these. I'll cut them back. I know. I'll cut this back. Please. Maybe root some of it. That's lupine.
Lupinus. Wow.
This is just a new little bowl of hens and chicks that I did. They're doing really nicely. So it doesn't get a lot of use in the summer. In this early spring, I harden off plants out here that I start in the house. Vegetables, I harden them off.
We are about to go into the vegetable garden. But as I said earlier, Marie plants according to permaculture style. So as you can see all along the rows, as you begin to enter, you have irises. And these irises have bloomed throughout the whole season. Beautiful white irises. Now as we move into the garden, it's her vegetable garden, but she has roses, she has dahlias, she has marigolds, and a vegetable as well. So let us go into the garden.
Okay. I have a little welcome for the butterflies as we come in. I do grow using organic methods, and I try to encourage all of the pollinators that I can get to come in, which is why I have all the flowers mixed with all of the vegetables. This has brought in a lot of butterflies, but also the dahlias. I have bees that fight over the blossoms, so all of this brings in pollinators, which makes everything grow. We have more celery here. We have bunching onions still in the ground in this bed right here. And then I had this bed full of potatoes, which has been pulled. I find that by mixing what I have in the ground, it lessens the pest pressure, so I don't have to worry about as much about looking for pests.
Marie, can you tell me what these are?
Well, I have beets in here, and some have been harvested for us to eat. Some of them I leave in the ground just to loosen the soil and then provide back organic matter as they decompose. I can cut the leaves back, which we can eat the leaves, or I can feed them to the goats, and then the root will actually just break down over time. Over here, I have cowpeas, black-eyed peas. They also serve as a ground cover, but they're dry. They're dry, so I can harvest them and then use them to cook. But the cowpea is a really good ground cover. Any bean or pea puts nitrogen back into the soil and helps to build the quality of the soil. So these beans, when they're done, I'll just cut the top off and leave the roots in the soil, and they'll keep feeding the soil.
Excellent.
And there's Bill.
Hello, Bill. Our little friend there. We're going to visit you soon. I spotted these Marie's garden and I asked her, what are these? Are they aubergine? She said, no, they are.
They are a purple tomato. First year I've grown them. They've struggled, as many things have, because we haven't had rain here in this part of Adams County. So these are not quite ripe. Hopefully they'll ripen soon, and then I'll be able to tell you whether or not they're delicious.
So
but
they'll
they're
always
extremely
be
beautiful.
purple. Wow.
They're really beautiful.
Wow.
And when they germinate, the seedlings are purple.
Nice.
Then they become green.
Dahlia on the stalk. Who's the most prettiest of them all? I am.
You are.
She is.
I grew them from
She
seed.
grew them from seeds. Now, isn't that beautiful?
All the dahlias that I have, I've grown from seed. Every
Wonderful.
year, I plant them and start them all over again.
Wow.
Yep.
From seeds.
And it's as tall as I am.
Yes, yes, yeah. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And you are more beautiful than the dahlia.
You're so sweet. All right, we'll show you the zinnias. Come on over here.
What about these beautiful
the
Swiss
chard?
chards?
Yeah, the Swiss chard looks beautiful.
This Swiss
It's
chard
really
is in
coming
his,
in.
is real, yeah, is in his beauty. Oh, look
Yep.
at that.
It
My.
just started to come in.
Yum, yum.
These are Oya pots, which is a water catchment system that I tried this year to see if it would help with the amount of watering I have to do. And I'll show you how this works. It's a clay pot, unglazed clay pot, and it has a plug in the bottom with like a marine caulk. You fill it with water, and the water seeps out through the clay to help water your soil. Now this year they really had a challenge because we didn't get any rain. So I kept filling them. And as long as I keep filling them, they will continue to seep water out. I tested this bed, and then I did another bed. And I wanted to compare it to beds that I didn't put them in. And I did find that in the area right around the Oya, we had more moisture.
Nice.
So in a
It
bed
worked.
this big, I might put in 3 of these.
Okay.
And then it would cut down, probably only have to water maybe once a week
Nice.
if I had that.
I
for
love
3.
that idea.
Yeah.
Oh, Marie, thank you for sharing
Sure.
that. So let's
So here's the zinnias.
Marie, did you grow these zinnias from seeds or plugs?
These are all from seed, and these I planted directly into the ground.
Beautiful.
I have a wide variety, all colors, all sizes. None are my favorite. All of them are my favorite.
Yes, yes.
I really love them.
Actually, that's
I
red.
do
Is
like that
this-
red.
Yeah,
I
red is
know, I
stunning.
know.
Yeah.
But look at these. Some of these are so moody looking. Like this with a little bit of purple in the center. How they're sort of two-toned.
Oh,
I just
look at the
love
size
these.
of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this little orange with the pink.
Yeah.
They're just
Looks like a little hat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, they're beautiful. They're really beautiful. Yeah.
This is oregano, which has been cut back once this year already. I usually cut the oregano, I cut basil, and I cut rosemary. And I put it in the nesting boxes in the chicken coop. And it helps to deter mites and things like that that bother the chickens. keeps it fresher in there. If I put it on the table where there's some hay that they nest in, they scratch around in there and it smells nice.
Yeah,
but the oregano really helps. This pond is full of frogs. Our ducks spend the day here. The chickens spend the day in the shade. But look at that gigantic frog. So the frogs stay in the pond at night. And usually in the daytime, they work their way out into the garden spaces and they eat bugs and spiders and whatever they can find. I think he's had a lot of bugs and spiders. He is gigantic. And then in the winter, they dig down in the muck in the bottom of the pond, and that's where they hibernate.
We're going to be entering into the main area of the garden where there's cutting garden, the hookah culture, and
Some more food.
yeah, and the tunnel
Right.
garden. Marie, you said something about the fence.
So we have the fence up to keep the deer out because we have a lot of deer in the area and we want to make sure that they're not eating everything we're growing. This is our rainwater catchment system. It helps to prevent water runoff, soil runoff that would end up actually in Elway Creek, which is part of the Chesapeake Bay watershed. So we try to keep the water from washing all the soil into the Elway Creek. When it rains, this swale fills up with water and it feeds into the swale on the other side of that little fence. And they hold the water and allow it to drain more slowly into the ground.
We are now in the cutting garden. This garden was great for market. We were able to get some flowers from it. We were able to get some daffodils from it and some gladiolas, snapdragon, and all sorts of wonderful things we were able to get from the garden. And we got some cosmos coming as well. Oh, amaranthus as well, you know. It's just been really lovely to come to Marie's cutting garden again. So between her cotton garden and my cotton garden, we got some beautiful bouquets for the market.
We really did. Here I'm growing amaranth, which is beautiful, can be used in flower arrangements, but is actually edible. All parts of the plant are edible. The leaves, the stems, and the seeds out of the blossoms. So if you look here, the black seeds are what is edible. And they actually have 9 grams of protein in a cup. So you cook it like you would cook quinoa and eat it. It also provides food for the birds.
Beautiful, beautiful.
As we've begun construction on the house, we had to move some plants. We moved a couple of rhododendron that survived the move, and then we dug up lilies and irises, which we put up here. We have them in this bed and then that bed over there.
Oh, that was beautiful.
And then, well, at some point, we may move some of them, but for right now, they're pretty happy here, so we'll leave them here.
Here we are at the polytunnel, where it's very functional, so you can find things growing, and just look at the peppers. Whew. They look like Christmas ornaments.
These tunnels have been experiments for me for the last 2 years. I've been trying to figure out what grows well in them so I can bring some of the vegetables out this far. The peppers have loved being up here in the tunnels. Last year I grew cucumbers up here and they did well, but not this year. But the peppers have done extremely well, so they will come back next year. I start spinach in the late fall in here and then harvest it in the spring. This is sorrel. The sorrel is actually a perennial. It's a salad leaf. It's got a lemony flavor to it. And this is a little old, so, but you can taste the citrus in it. I'll cut this back to the ground and it'll come back next year. And the snapdragons have done very well in here.
And then this is
That's lemon balm.
Lemon balm.
The Dusty Miller is about 3 years old. It's been in various places on the property, and each year it starts to come back in the spring. So last year I planted it in here, and it has stayed here the whole time. Very happy, and I cut these to put in flower arrangements.
Exactly, I was going to say that, Marie. They make great cut flowers in the arrangements. They give you that beautiful filler, you know. You can put your single stems between them.
Sure. And this is parsley, and it's pretty much shot for the year, But I leave it in here because the caterpillars like it, so they...
So they will do well over the winter, or you have to plant?
Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. These tunnels didn't have windows in the back, and we have a lot of wind here. So we cut windows, framed them out, and then we have the cut piece framed. When it gets colder, we'll just screw them back in so that then they're closed up again. And we just take them out in the spring. And that way we have good airflow, and we get a lot of pollinators in here that way.
I'm impressed with this.
This is gorgeous.
Oh, how did you get it to be so beautiful?
This rosemary has been in here for 2 years.
Wow.
And it overwintered last year. We didn't have a very bad winter.
Wow.
If it looks like it's going to be really cold this winter, I'll probably put a frost blanket over it just for extra protection.
It's doing very well.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
This bed is the hugelkultur bed, and Marie is here today to tell us all about it. Go ahead, Marie.
Marann, thanks. Hugelkultur is a method of creating a raised bed. And essentially, what you would do is dig a trench, fill it with rotted logs, other organic material. We used manure from our goats and our pony. We put in kitchen scraps. We put in vegetation from plants we had pulled out, grass clippings, and then we put paper down on top of that. So that's just breaking down underneath this. Then we added compost and soil and planted into it. We grew pumpkins here this year. The tomatoes that you see everywhere came up in the compost. So we're getting another crop of tomatoes. The point of the hugelkultur bed is that the rotted logs and organic material in the ground will hold moisture and also provide water to all the plants. We don't water this very much at all. It maintains the moisture just from the fact that it's in the ground and we have that organic material in there.
So when you say paper, is it newspaper or any
Newspaper
kind of
usually is what we use, newspaper.
Okay. So this is another way of getting the soil moist, because in the herb garden back there, you have the clay pots, and that is seen, and you put water into it. This way, you start off with it being moist, and you just allow it to continuously be moist and wonderful. So what's the word hugelkultur come from?
It's a German word, and I know it has a lot of K's and U's and H's in it. But it's a fascinating practice, and you could use it anywhere. You could obviously use it in a more wooded location or out here in full sun. It's nice here because it worked with the contour of the property, which is part of permaculture practice also. You work with your contours and you plant along those contours. You don't fight nature, you work with it.
Right, where the water is a natural
So we have water that washes all through here, and this will catch that.
Here we are today at the Noble Nook. This is the Farmette, which is so lovely because Marie has chickens and goats and ponies and ducks. And what else, Marie?
This is Meatball.
Yeah, there's Meatball.
Meatball is a miniature horse. He's 30 years old. We've had him for about 20 years now. We got him before our first grandchild was born, so we would have something to put the babies on.
Aww.
So he's safely carried a lot of babies. This is Hercules. You want another cookie? There you go. Monty, you want a cookie? You gotta get up. This is Monterey Jack. Ooh. And this is Pepper Jack.
Hello, Monterey.
Pepper Jack.
Pepper Jack.
And Hulk is somewhere. Hulky, probably out in the field. Monty and Pepper were the first two goats we got. They are 10. Perky's 7. Bill is a Pygora. The Pygora breed is a fiber breed of goat, and he's a Pygmy Angora cross.
Look at that beautiful coat.
Bill is 9 years old. He gets shorn twice a year.
Aww, Billy, you're a real Billy.
We shear them for their comfort, not for our use. So they get shorn later in the spring, so he's warm all through the spring, and then he gets shorn in the fall. And usually we take the fleeces and put them out in the woods, and the little animals take them and make nests out of it.
As you've seen, this beautiful farmette, we have the animals, we have the flowers, the fruit, the vegetables, we have the trees. Literally everything you want to have in a garden is here.
Thanks for visiting today. I hope you enjoy this place as much as we do. We've spent a lot of time planning it, so I'm glad to have you here today. The thing that I feel most when I'm in the garden is that it's where I belong. Yeah. I feel it in my soul.
Yeah.
Sounds kind of hokey, but it's where I belong.
Yeah. I am so thankful because the garden is our
happy place.